The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Eddie Hearn a snake for not bidding on Haney's fight versus Sandor Martin, or was it smart business? We're going to get into that in a second, but first we're going to take a look at over the years and over time how Eddie's opinion on Devin Haney changed. Okay, so first we're going to take a look at some footage before Devin Haney lost, after the loss, and then we're going to talk about how he didn't bid on Devin Haney's fight with Sandor Martin. So first, let's take a look at this video right here. This is before the fight with Ryan Garcia. Let's listen to what Eddie had to say.
Well, it's a done deal. Devin Haney against Ryan Garcia, April the 20th, live on the Zone pay-per-view. It's an absolute monster. Devin Haney fast becoming the face of boxing. Perfect fight for Devin, perfect fight for Ryan, perfect fight for boxing, perfect fight for the Zone. Do not miss it. What a fight to add to the DAZN schedule.
All right,
well,
so
it's a done deal.
You heard what Eddie Hearn had to say right there. And so now we're going to listen to from the press conference when Eddie Hearn was speaking, and Ryan kind of had to come in to check him about some of the things he was saying. So let's listen to the press conference and Eddie Hearn speaking on Devin Haney. Let's take a listen.
I think he might be one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the sport. And when you're as dedicated to the sport as he is, and when you do things right...
That's a crazy statement.
You don't like that?
No, that was the worst statement. Dude, anybody's beatable. That's cap.
Anyone's beatable.
And I like you.
I like you. But I back this man every day of the week and twice on a Sunday.
But you don't got to lie?
I don't lie. I just say...
That was a lie.
just say...
You said you think he's unbeatable. Okay, I got you.
I do. I think he's unbeatable. But one thing I do is I respect you for taking this challenge, because you have proven time and time again you are willing to fight the very best in the sport. And that is great for boxing. But I will leave you with this. On April 20th, you will get an amazing card. And I'll see this man as being, and still, the WBC champion of the world, Devin Haney. Thank you.
So you see, at that point, before the fight with Ryan, he thought that Devin was unbeatable. At least that's what he's saying. And he backs Devin every day of the week and twice on Sunday. He thinks Devin could be the face of boxing. So now, after the fight with Ryan Garcia, of course, Eddie Hearn doesn't even make a bid for Devin Haney versus Sandor Martin. So the only promotional company that even made a bid for the fight was Top Rank. And so Eddie Hearn doesn't make a bid for the fight. And now here's what he has to say about Devin Haney.
I mean, we have absolutely no obligation to bid. He's a free agent. You know, a lot of these fighters like to champion the fact that they're free agents, and they all have their own promotional company. DHP didn't bid. They didn't bid because they didn't want to take a financial risk on the fight. So you won't, but yet I have to, even when you're not under contract to me, or I'm not obliged to. It doesn't really work like that. Was I going to bid for it? Maybe, yeah. But then when I spoke to DAZN, this is the schedule, the plan we have for the year. Do you want to stick money in to do Devin Haney against Sandor Martin? In all honesty, the answer was not really, no. And so, you know, I still think it's a fight that he should think about taking. But let's be honest, it ain't going to be the greatest fight in the world to watch. And unfortunately, we have to run a business here. And I'm not interested in losing a load of money to a fighter that I don't have a contractual obligation to, who also has his own promotional company. With a tweet, I mean, we have absolutely.
All right, so well, one more video for you, and then we'll talk about this. So this is the last video we're going to play of Eddie speaking about not bidding on the fight between Devin Haney and Sandor Martin.
If you don't pledge your loyalty to us, if we don't have an obligation to lose money on your fights, we're not going to be queuing up to do so. Devin Haney against Sandor Martin is not a fight that will provide commercial success for anybody around the levels required to win that fight. Do I want to lose $1 million on Devin Haney against Sandor Martin? No, thank you very much. If you don't...
All right, Trill Dollar Bill. Now I'm going to ask you, is Eddie a snake for not bidding on Haney's fight with Sandor Martin? Or was it just smart business in the end? You know, and it could be a little bit of both. It's up to you. You let me know.
I mean, shoot. It's funny when we talk about Eddie, right? It'd be funny. You know what I'm saying? I accuse our bro, our UK bro, Rico. I accuse our UK bro Rico of being geographically racist. You know what I'm saying? Right? And it's not just him. You know what I'm saying? I see that in our conversation a lot. You know, when we say something good about Eddie, it's like, y'all got it right on the nail, mate. You know? You know? We say something they don't like. We say something bad about Eddie and they don't like. Off with your bloody heads.
Know your place. Have some respect.
Have some respect. Know your place.
Have some respect. Know your place. He was rich. He's rich.
Yeah, I know, right?
He was born rich.
And y'all act like Eddie will piss on y'all if y'all was on fire. You know what I'm saying? Eddie don't care about y'all. But let me just go answer this question, man. Look, here's the thing. To me, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Nothing personal, baby. Just business. You know That's basically what it is. Now I can get why people were saying, damn, Eddie, not even a bit.
Not even a fake bit.
Not even a fake bit. Because we accused Eddie of this before. And people got mad. Because Eddie right now, Eddie is like a guy, right? That gasses up an ugly girl. You know what I'm saying? To get some. You know what I'm saying? That's what he does. You know what I'm saying? He gasses up the ugly girl to get some. You know what I'm saying?
Close to getting a warning on that one too.
You see what he did to Deontay? He had Deontay really thinking that he was that guy. Deontay was like, oh, for real? You know what I'm saying? Shoot. If Deontay was a lady, shit, they'll talk your panties off. That's what Eddie would do. You know what I'm saying? And that's why Devin was hurt. Because as you just showed, he was champion for Devin. Devin's the man. Devin's this. Devin's unbeatable. Devin's the future.
Yeah, you saw how offended Ryan was.
Yeah. Face of boxing. You called him the face of boxing. And now you ain't even put in a bid for the face of boxing? So yeah, I can see why some people will say, oh, it's kind of foul, Eddie. You know what I'm saying? And you was back there with him. You was hugging him after what Ryan did to him. You know what I'm saying? Just let him know you'll be back. You know? You know? And you the one that suggested the Martin fight. You was the one that suggested that was the next fight for Devin. But you wasn't saying he was a face of boxing. You was like, Devin don't need to be in there with no puncher. Forget Matias, forget everybody else. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you don't need to be in there with no punches. I forget everything I was just saying in that press conference before. So yeah, you know what I mean? Me personally, I would be like, it's smart business. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. You know? But I can see why some people would be like, because we all know. I call Eddie is one of those, oil salesmen. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. It's just how you feel about things. I just think it was smart business because we all know that Devin, if Shakur ain't putting you to sleep, Devin ain't knocking. Matter of fact, I seen this competition that somebody sent me. My man Neutral Corner sent me this this clip of people pillow fighting, and I automatically just thought of Devin and Shakur Stevenson.
To a pillow fighting in a ring. All right, check this out. You know, I don't think Eddie makes the smartest business decisions, but I must admit he may be starting to understand that you can't just waste money, because Eddie was throwing away money, a lot of money, hurting his brand. So now he said he presented this fight to DAZN, and DAZN said, "Here's our schedule," and he said, "Well, I'm not trying to waste $1 million on Devin Haney," which is good. He's finally understanding you can't just keep losing money. But where people are saying he's a snake is because, like you said, Trill, the way he presented at the press conference, the way he presented beforehand, like, oh, I think Devin is going to be the face of boxing. I think Devin is unbeatable. I see. It's disgusting for anyone to say any fighter is unbeatable. Like, no one's unbeatable. We've seen the best fighters in the world take L's, right?
And Ryan tried to save him.
Yeah, and Ryan said to him, like, and he still doubled down. Well, I think he's unbeatable, right? Now, if you ever wanted any proof that they can give Devin Haney his old back, but he'll never be undefeated again, ask yourself this question. If Devin Haney would have beaten Ryan Garcia, would DAZN have picked up that Sandor Martin fight? Absolutely. Although they would have taken a loss. Why? Because they would have wanted to make and recoup those losses in a fight against Gervonta Tank Davis. See, that's the whole point when you do this. It's all investments for the long-term gain. So when I try to explain to people about Eddie Hearn and him making bad decisions as a promoter, people are like, oh, you want the easy fights. You don't understand, because you're looking at it from a fan's perspective. You have to look at it from multiple lenses. So when you talk about Eddie Hearn, the promoter, you have to look at him from multiple lenses. First, you have to look at him from the fan's perspective. Yeah, as a fan who watches boxing, you may think it's good that he throws everyone in the ring when he does. But what about from a business partner's perspective? If you're in business with Eddie, you're thinking, why'd you sign Subriel Matias, give him all our money to bring him to Puerto Rico to lose his first fight under Matchroom in DAZN? What sense does that make? Right? Business-wise. So although you may like Eddie Hearn as a fan, he hasn't been doing the best business. 5v5. Okay, you're going to go 5v5 with Frank, and you already know that the history between Matchroom and Queensberry, you know that Queensberry and Matchroom been rivals, everything. So you're finally working together, and you're going to go 5-0 with your long-term rival, 5-0? Like, it just doesn't look good. And he's also, he's also down to Ben Shalom. We're going to get into that a little bit later too. Ben Shalom shellacked him, this weekend. But the point is, he hasn't really been making the best business decisions. But when you look at this Devin Haney decision, I think it was the right thing to do. At this particular point in time, Devin Haney's stock is down. You can't sell Devin Haney as the most skilled, best fighter in the world, because everyone saw Ryan Garcia repeatedly hit him with the left hook. Even if you give him his old back, people know what they saw in that ring. So you can't sell Devin Haney as unbeatable anymore. You can't sell Devin Haney as the best fighter in the world anymore. So his stock took a major hit. So if you're Eddie, you just got to count your losses and move on. But he said one thing that's real. And this is what I like when people tell me, like, oh, Eddie Hearn isn't the manager. He's not this or whatever. Okay. So Eddie Hearn decides he's not even going to pick up Devin Haney's fight. Doesn't even put a bid in for it. Devin Haney has DHP Promotions. Why didn't DHP Promotions bid on that fight? Because they don't want to take the loss. And that's what Eddie was saying. They don't bid on their own fights. You heard what he said. It's cute they have their own promotional companies, right? They got their own promotional companies. Well, here's what I'm saying to someone like Devin and people in the game, smarten up. Look at this. They were ready to ride Devin when they thought he would potentially get a Tank fight that would make big time money. The only reason they were taking these losses for Devin was so that they could eventually cash out when he fought Tank. But now that he's lost to Ryan, he's no good to them anymore. Won't even bid on his fight. So that's why I'm saying, if you're Devin, why not wait until Ryan serves his suspension? You and Ryan fight each other. DHP Promotions, Ryan Garcia Promotions. Don't involve Top Rank. Don't involve, well, Ryan's on the Golden Boy. So Golden, there you go. It'll get the zone anyway. DHP, Golden Boy, bring it to the zone. And then Devin, you won't have to give a cut to Eddie Hearn because you're not in business with Eddie Hearn now. So now you, DHP, Ryan, who's with Golden Boy, you do it again and you get a bigger cut. You don't have to give 20% to Matchroom. And it's going to be one of the biggest fights in the world. Smarten up. So, yeah, Eddie Hearn did what was best for him. But in Eddie Hearn doing what was best for him in the zone, it showed you how you can move moving forward, doing what's best for you. This is what the fighters need to start doing. This is what they need to start understanding. Because when you have a fight that can sell and you're not going to take any losses, then that's when you should move and act on it on your own. You saw what Eddie Hearn did. I'm not mad at Eddie Hearn. It's good for business. He's finally starting to worry about losing money. Finally. I'm happy for him. But if you're Devin, you should start thinking, are they using me? How can I do this? Even if that means fighting in smaller venues, bro. Remember, we brought this up when we were like, yo, why don't they just fight at a smaller venue that they know they can book? Because people were like, oh, Subrio's fighting at this place or that place. I'm like, why is Devin fighting in the Barclays Center knowing he's not going to sell that out? Why is he fighting in a Barclays Center? Fight at a smaller venue where you know you could sell it out, where you won't take a loss, where you make some money. So anyways, these are just things for them to think about moving forward. But yeah, I don't think he's a snake in this particular point. Although, like Trill said, he's definitely misleading. He gassed Devin up to think he was something, to think he had his back. And then when it mattered most, he said, why would I lose money on him? Lose $1 million on Devin? If that don't tell you Devin's not undefeated, then I don't know what will. The man who was once kissing his shoes is now saying, you on your own, buddy.
We ain't even cool like that. Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. It's my brother Caden. I'm the Commissioner Trill Dollar Bills, LLG for life. And we the Boxing Bro.